Wait, hold on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Hold on. I think we are live though.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it says live. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna go without the countdown today. We're live. We're live today on YouTube, not on Twitter because StreamYard is they on some BS now. So eventually we're gonna figure out something else to get everything live on Twitter. But yeah, so we're live on YouTube. Cool. Let me make sure we're good. All right, okay. All right, well, welcome y'all to another episode of Cardinalytics. I'm one of your hosts, Rashad, and this is my co-host Jake. We're without Corey this week, but Jake, we have a special guest with us that you can go ahead and introduce.
Yeah, this is my brother Kyle. Happy to have him with us. Been trying to get him on here for a while, but yeah, finally got him. So excited to have him and ready to chop it up with you guys as always. Very excited. Biggest fan of the family. Happy to be here. Very,
So, Kyle,
highly
so
debated.
Kyle, could you kind of give them a little backstory about how you're a Cards fan and
Yeah,
your
so
name?
our dad grew up in St. Louis back when they were the St. Louis Cardinals. And so growing up, he was absolutely mad for the Cardinals. We actually have a New York Times article with our dad in this big helmet chair surrounded by all his Cardinals memorabilia. And you can find it on the New York Times. So I'll have to have him post it after. But yeah, we just got raised, bleeding red the whole growing up. And we just took on the fandom. And he stuck with it, obviously, when they moved to Arizona. And our whole childhood, they just sucked forever. Luckily, we got some good Kurt Warner years. Steelers Super Bowl, I still don't think he got both feet down. Those are some of my earliest memories, I swear to God, because our dad was just so nuts for it. But we took on the fandom and honestly bonded, the three of us, more than probably anything. Just loving the Cardinals. Went out to a couple games. And yeah, just honestly pretty big part of our lives, just something to get you through the work week and look forward to cheering on the Redbirds. So, yeah.
Nice, cool. So week one's finally here, y'all. Like we finally here after 3 weeks of the preseason of not seeing no starters. I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I guess we can kind of talk about the preseason real quick. I am definitely a little nervous. Not too nervous, but like we didn't see any starters this preseason, and we also didn't see the backups really execute like hardly at all. Does that like make y'all a little bit nervous going into week one against Buffalo, not seeing like those guys have like perform?
Yeah, I mean, we've been having conversations with Kyler. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious he just dialed in this offseason. I think he's hiding himself from the NFL, the rest of the league, because when it comes to showtime, it's going to be magical. And he's hiding McBride. He's hiding everybody. And I think we're giving Greg Dortch his respect. He doesn't need to prove anything. He's one of those starting guys. And I just think the guys that are ready to go, they're going to be the core part of this team. They don't need any more practice, nothing. These guys were dialed. They're working out together all summer long. The chemistry's there. They've probably been practicing, super hard. So I think they're ready. They don't need a preseason. They didn't want to risk any sort of injuries. They just want to take down the Bills week one. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm not. I know, like Shad, you and Corey got or I know at least you were a little bit anxious about it. I really am confident though that JG, kind of as Kyle was alluding to, is sort of trying to keep things under wraps. And then like another thing too, like in listening to some of his press conferences, he had mentioned how. I think it was JG, or maybe it was one of like, it might've been Bo or JV, but just the fact that like some of those teams, like the Chiefs that obviously made like super deep runs, you get that far in the postseason, you play all these extra weeks. Like oftentimes these guys get a big long break after that happens, especially if you win, you go and celebrate and do all that stuff. So I think that's why you kind of see those teams. You see their starters and their twos playing more than the threes and fours, as you see with a team like the Cardinals that had 4 wins in a season, because guys like Kyler returning from injury, like he barely even like took any time off. Like he came in, for week 10 on, played 8 games, and then that was that. Like,
That's true. Yeah.
As he was starting to ramp up, so like he barely took any sort of a break, and he even said today in his presser that like his mind has been on football the entire time, and he like doesn't really think about much else. So those guys, like, they've been with each other. They were meeting, you know, they went to Oklahoma together. They went to UCLA together. Like, they got the house.
Mhm.
They're playing ping pong, swimming, doing all this stuff, acting like kids together and just competing and building that chemistry on and off the field.
Mhm.
And additionally, too, like, JG and Kyler have both gone on record in saying like they value joint practices more than preseason games. So obviously, like, we got all the reps against the Colts, some notable players there that they were able to go against. But as far as like reps in the preseason, like I don't see how having your starting quarterback and your starting offense, like the Niners, for example, like Purdy with Debo and Kittle, going against, what was it, the Raiders, like third stringers, and like not looking very good. It's like, does that like help the team or hurt the team? You know what I mean? To
I
kind of
guess
expose it like that.
for me, like, obviously we was talking about this before starting the stream. Fresh in my mind is the LSU game. As a resident LSU fan, LSU played USC to start off the season, and I feel like the players were ready. Like, I feel like what you're talking about with the continuity of the team, like the players should be ready. They've been, together all off season. Like, they built that rapport. Like, it's the same guys coming back, but it's just like, from the coaching standpoint, like, I just want to make sure that the coach is going to be locked in week one,
Right.
when it comes to calling plays, making sure that they have the right personnel and stuff out there, like making sure that they're doing what they need to be doing, because I feel like the players are going to be ready. But the last thing I want is like, okay, well, Drew Petzing is just like not in good enough form to call plays against the Bills. You know what I'm saying? To
I
dial
agree.
up some plays to where we
Yeah.
can, make some stuff shake. So
Yeah.
that's really my main concern. But
I feel like something like to immediately address there, honestly, is like the three guys. You can even make the case for four that we have really at the forefront of the day-to-day and the play-to-play operations. JG, Petzing, Rallis, and even Jeff Rogers. Like, all four of those guys live and breathe football, and that's no secret to anyone. Like, they are all have expressed how like pumped up they are, excited to get going. I mean, we're talking about JG, the guy that literally like forces these coordinators to work out with him at like ungodly hours in the gym, right? Like, this guy has kids, he's got a wife, he's got all this stuff going on, but they like football is like the most important thing to them. Like, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think we need to worry about those guys getting the team to show up. I think the bigger worry is the team going to show up? Is the team properly conditioned? Do they do the right things in the offseason? Are they going to bring the juice? Because when it comes down to it, like in the NFL, like the powerhouses are of course going to win most of the time. The times where the underdog is able to get it done is when they bring more juice. At the end of the day, dude, these guys are all world-class athletes. They're all the best in the world at what they do. It's who brings the juice and who wants to win it more. And I feel like we have the right like captains of the ship per se, to get us to that point to go and execute to like the highest potential of like the given roster. So I feel pretty confident that those guys are gonna get us in the place we need to be, if they haven't already, honestly.
I got you. Okay, well, yeah, we'll see. Like, that's, like I said, that's just my biggest concern for the most part. Just with those guys being ready. Real quick, I wanted to say shout out to a couple people I see they popped in here quick. So yeah, Classy Nasty, what's going on, man? And also had our number one fan Dana in here. Yeah, Corey couldn't make it today. He had some family duties that he had to take care of, so he's doing that today. But he'll be back obviously for post game recap. So yeah, so week one again against the Bills. Do y'all have any guys that y'all want to highlight on the Cardinals per se that y'all feel like might necessarily have good games, or like maybe just talk to us how you feel the game's going to go?
Yeah, I mean, just going off your first question, I think Michael Wilson is going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's somebody that thought he was going to kind of inherit that wide receiver one role. And I think Marvin Harrison not necessarily made him jealous, but it was a bit of a wake-up call that he wasn't producing like a number one guy. And if you watch any of the interviews with him, he thinks of himself as the number one guy. And I just think those guys were pushing each other. just the entire offseason, and he's hungry. You can just feel it
Mm-hmm.
in any of the podcasts that he's done with the guys. He wants it. He's driven, and as long as he stays, injury free, God forbid, I know it's been a problem for him. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to show up ready to ball for sure.
Yeah, I know Michael Wilson. He I don't know how much like the talk was of like Zay Jones maybe taking his spot, but like that's another guy that probably pushed him a little bit more this offseason to really like put in some work to solidify himself as the number 2 spot. Because if Zay's not getting suspended, I don't know where he's at in the pecking order on this team. I know he's pretty good, but I don't know if he had won that starting number 2 job or if Michael Wilson won it outright. But I could definitely see him having a good game and a good year overall. He just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah, I would echo that sentiment as well. I think Michael Wilson honestly is. It was even too like I was listening to some YouTube pod today. Some like guys that were unaffiliated with the Cardinals, and they were kind of saying the same thing. Like Michael Wilson may not have the tools to be like an elite number 1 in the league, but like he could be right up there as like one of the best number 2s. So I think that's going to be a great position for him. Obviously, you bring in a guy like Marv, he's going to draw the best DB on the opposing team. He's going to draw double coverage, and that's just going to open up the field for a guy like Wilson, who he can take a lot of hits. Like you look at his highlight tape from last year, he got beat around pretty good, and for the most part stayed healthy. Like I know he had some little injury, I think, that kept him out a few games, but I don't think it was related to like being hit around. I think it was like some sort of like lower body. Kind of like wear and tear thing. So, but I would like to highlight James Conner. Not like a crazy take, but like it seems every year it's the same song and dance with this guy. Like everyone just overlooks him. Like I don't know how into fantasy you are, Shot. I'm like super tapped in, but like all these big accounts like on Twitter just don't give this guy the love. And like I know he's 29, but he was one of those guys that came onto the scene late, like a Raheem Mostert who's 32 and clearly still has juice left. So he's got a lot of like Connor as well has juice left in the tank, and he's got fresh legs. And I could see him. I mean, he just broke 1,000 rushing yards for the first time in his career last season. I could see him going out this week, and with that Bills defense having lost guys and being down, I think it's Milano is out for the season. I think
Milano's out.
He could really get it going, and I'm going to say I guarantee that James Conner has a combined 100 plus all-purpose yards on Sunday.
James Conner anytime TD. That's what I'm hearing too.
100% lock, bro. Lock. Do that every week of the season.
Yeah, I actually took. I have a little a specialist prop bet for all the crowd watching. I think you can still get it on DraftKings, but it's basically like team specials. And it's the Cardinals like longest odds, and it's the Cardinals to score a rushing touchdown in every single regular season game. So I took that, and it's like I want to say it's like plus 16,000 or something crazy. So definitely look into that. I think obviously it's a long shot, but definitely possible. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check it out.
We got Kyler in the chat. What's up, Kyler?
Oh my God, Kyler Bird.
Yeah, he's a well-known Cardinals reporter on Twitter.
Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah. I always have had some great interactions with Kyler.
Yeah, Kyler's a great dude. I've spoken to him a couple of times too. So he said Christian Benford matched up on Michael Wilson and Taron Johnson on Greg Dortch are both super favorable matchups. Yeah, personally, I don't know any of those guys. So I would like to think that they're favorable matchups, but I was talking to some of my friends the other day, and we are just talking about like top wide receiver 3s with the Dotson trade to Philly. And I think that Greg Dortch is probably like top 10, like when it comes to the wide receiver 3, not saying just like the offense and everything, just like the wide receiver 3 on your roster. I feel like Greg Dortch is top 10 in the league. It's not many guys that can cover him. I know there was that interview that Kyler was talking about Greg Dortch, and he was just like, if he was 6'3", like he would have been a first round pick. I truly believe that, because literally there's nobody that can cover him in the slot. Like,
I totally agree.
He's great.
Yeah, he looked like such a freak in that highlight from the Colts joint practice, just like totally shaking the dude at the line and like just unguarded, like Tyreek-esque. I thought it was incredible.
So yeah, so personally, if I don't know the guy, then I feel like it's always going to be a favorable matchup against Greg Dortch. But
That's fair.
yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Also we got another guy in the chat, Greg. Shout out to him. Salute to him. He's a Chiefs fan, one of my homies.
Let's go.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Hey, look, I'm rooting for y'all on Thursday, by the way. So
absolutely, same here.
Yeah.
Big Chiefs guy outside of the cards.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna throw this up here. Dana said, tried to say pulling Lacey after unsportsmanlike penalty completely stalled out LSU's offense. Yeah, I guess that was I want to say that was the penalty that came after when we got a turnover on 4th downs, and we definitely didn't get the ball to Lacey after that. And I think we should have went down to the field and scored that drive in the 4th, but ended up costing us. Yeah. But back to the Cardinals. You know, I could talk about LSU all day.
Back to our regular program.
Yeah. So anybody? Oh, I guess I didn't give y'all my guy.
Yeah, who's your sleeper?
So I mean, I wouldn't say it's a sleeper, but I'm kind of like how I'm kind of on board with you, like Jake. Not necessarily about James Conner, but with Trey McBride. Like we obviously know what Trey McBride is gonna bring, and I just feel like him and Kyler aren't gonna miss a beat. Like I feel like they're gonna come back. Like obviously Marv is the new guy, right? And like Marv's gonna get a lot of attention, so that's gonna leave a lot of stuff open for McBride. And I could easily see 8 catches, 85 yards. We got to get this man to at least like 5-6 TDs this year. Not because I have a bet on that, but because he's gonna get the volume and he's gonna get Kyler Murray for a full 17, 18 games. So
yeah.
So yeah, Trey McBride is my guy that I feel like he should have a pretty good game on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. He was balling with backups. He was balling without some of the starting wide receivers. Like,
yeah,
he's matchup proof too. So he's imagine with a fully loaded roster what he's going to do. Full offseason with Kyler. We don't know. We're going to see for the first time.
I just feel like too, like having all these weapons like Marv drawing the top coverage, if not double coverage. How like I don't see how really any defense can contain this offense. Like I really do think we're going to have a top 5 offense and probably I feel like best case our defense is like 24th. Like I feel like honestly best case. I feel like more likely it will probably be like the 26, 27 range. We were 30th last year. So maybe best case like 23rd. And if that happens, like, I don't know, man. I think this offense can score at the best of them. I really do. I feel like this is a year too where you're going to start to see Kyler routinely throwing for 250 plus. So really excited to see that. Crazy comment by your boy Gibbs on there.
Yeah.
I like that one. I love this one. Yeah.
Money line.
Yep. I'm all over.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Greg. This game reminds us a lot of another game that we played back at the start of 2021 when we played against the Titans. We went into that season. It was Cliff's 3rd year. But it was our first year. It was our 2nd year. No, I think it was his 3rd year. I think it was 3rd year.
You're right there.
Yes, Cliff's 3rd year.
5 wins, 11 wins.
Yes.
I want to say that Tennessee just came off of a AFC Championship berth, also.
Yeah,
or maybe they were a game away.
No, it was 2 years ago because it was Brady. That was Brady's last year.
Yeah,
and they beat Patriots in his last game. Yeah, I think. It was,
so I mean, but they had high hopes.
They were good.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they were really good.
They were supposed to clean house, and
I think
they had just signed Julio Jones. You're right. They had AJ Brown. Yeah. So obviously it was super hype team. And not a lot of national media was picking the Cardinals to win. Not a lot of national media just expected anything out of the Cardinals going into that game. And we came in. I think we went up 21-0 within like the first half or something like that. I actually went to that game. It was a crazy game. One of the best games I've ever been to.
Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a game.
So
that was a Christian Kirk.
It was a Christian Kirk moonball game. It was Tyler running around making plays to Rondale Moore.
Unreal.
It was a great game. Great game.
I
want to say Cam Thomas scored a touchdown that game. Somebody scored JJ Watt had like a strip sack fumble or something like that. Chandler Jones had 5 sacks.
5 sacks.
Crazy game. Yeah.
You're like, this guy's supposed to break the single season record like easily, and then he didn't. He like, I think the rest of the year he only had like 5 more. Like,
So
He didn't have. He hardly had any more after that.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this game kind of gives me the same vibes, just because I mean, the Bills don't really scare me. Like, obviously they have Josh Allen, right? And they always have a good defense, but it's week 1. So like defenses, like, you're going to be able to move the ball against them because it's week 1. But outside of Josh Allen, they lost Stephon Diggs, and they replaced him with the rookie and Keon Coleman. They have Dalton Kincaid now, and they still have James Cook, which, James Cook's solid running back, but there's no guy for them right now. So we're looking at our defense, and we're like, our defense last year was pretty garbage. I think it was like 30th in the league. But it's like we don't have a big weapon that we're going up against that scares me. So how do you feel like our defense is going to face against the Bills?
I think Kincaid's definitely going to eat against us. I could see him putting up 100 yards. Other than that, really not too scared. Josh Allen's legs, that's all. QB sneaks have always been a weakness for us. We always let the QBs, get out of trouble and make those 25-yard plays that just kill the momentum. So that's really what I'm most worried about. But hopefully with JG, defensive minded, just putting some sort of scheme to cap Josh Allen. I think if we can contain him, it's over. Kincaid can't do it by himself. I'm not scared of those receivers. So,
yeah, I feel honestly like pretty optimistic about it myself, and I just like to point out too, like, that defense was 30th in the league last year, but like, you saw flashes. Like, we have a perennial Pro Bowler in Budda Baker. We had a Pro Bowl snub in Jalen Thompson last year. So like, our safety room is stacked. Then you have Rabbit like coming in, who's like the first alternate for Jalen. So like, super confident in that room. The linebackers, dude, like, Kaiser White was an absolute monster last year before he got injured. Like, he was like honestly the heartbeat of the defense. I don't know if you saw this too, Sean, but or Kyle, honestly, but Budda was playing with like a torn hamstring.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And he like didn't tell anyone like at all. It never got reported. So it's like, all right, that makes sense, because like, we were kind of criticizing him last year for being like a little bit more like tentative. His presence wasn't felt as much. So you kind of get him back to full strength. Another year of Jalen Thompson just in the offense, the true unsung hero.
So good.
And then I just want to highlight too, guys we have starting that were not a part of that 30th best defense in the league. Bilal Nichols starting, Justin Jones starting. My favorite addition to the defense that wasn't a rookie, Mac Truck Wilson. Absolutely love this guy. Out of New England, guy can hit with the best of them. He just fits the culture very well. I'm serious. This guy can lay an absolute pit stick. He loves it. He loves ball. He's all over it. He's a Bama guy. He's hungry. Got limited time at the Patriots, and like, in his limited time, I think he had like 3 sacks last year. He rushed the passer.
I was about to say they actually used him a lot on the edge too. So I don't know if that's something that like Rallis might. Right, he is pretty versatile. Yeah,
I would like to see that. Like, this guy had like, when he gets going, like, he's running downhill, and he's just a mean motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, he's a mean guy, and yeah, I love that. I like Sean Murphy Bunting a lot too. That addition, he's a starter. I know like a lot of my friends give me shit about that. They think he's overrated, think he's bad, whatever. I'm pretty confident in him. He's a veteran. He's been to and won a Super Bowl. Like, we need all like the veteran help we can get, and the veteran savvy. Looks like I don't even know if this is right, but it looks as though
Starling. Is that what you're looking at?
No, dude, it looks as though Max Melton is supposed to start, but I thought it was Starling. I don't know. This is on the team's website, the official depth chart, but.
So I saw what they released. So the depth chart that they released, let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, this is weird.
I saw that they had Starling started at number 1 corner. Yeah, so they had that's just offense. Here we go. So Bo Brock tweeted out the first depth chart for week 1 against the Bills. He tweeted this yesterday, September 3rd.
Yep.
And they have Starling starting at 1 cornerback. They have Sean Murray Bunting on the other outside cornerback, and then they have Garrett Wilson in the slot. So that's what I'm seeing.
I'm gonna send this over to you too. This is on the team's website, so it looks like we have some conflicting. Because I thought Starling was starting too.
Yeah, I don't think they. Yeah, I don't think that they updated on the website because it's just it says as of September 3rd. But
yeah, that's gotta be accurate.
But and let's talk about the depth chart real quick, because the one thing that stood out to me was that 5th round pick Xavier Thomas, 5th round pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the backup. He is the backup defensive end or outside linebacker.
Yep.
Behind Gardeck.
Yep.
Gardeck, we know, like, okay, we know what we're getting out of Gardeck, and Gardeck at times has been shown that he can be hurt or he can be out because of injury. I wouldn't be surprised if come week 5 that Xavier Thomas is starting at that outside edge spot. With how he played in the preseason, that was one guy that I looked at from the preseason. I was like, all right, this guy looks like he could be a legit piece for us in a room where we don't really have that much. And it's like, we know what Dennis Gardeck is at 30 years old. Like, why would we not throw out this young guy after a couple of games, having him get his feet wet and see what he can do long term for the team?
I think we will, honestly. I see him as like a potential like 7-8 sack guy off the rip in a 17-game season. Like I think he had
if he's starting,
beast
for sure.
Beast. He's 24 years old, Clemson guy, 6'2", 250. Like that's a beast right there, bro. Like he's got the it factor. I think I would love to see, like, obviously, like you said, Gardeck's a rock, like captain last year, maybe the year before as well. He'll give
not
you
a captain this year.
Sacks. No, not this year. He'll give you 5 or 6 sacks, which is great. But we need the youth, man, at that position. And I think Xavier would be sick in that role. He could definitely give us some good production. And then obviously getting D-Rob back, hopefully against the Niners in week 5.
That's huge. Be so
Dana brings up a good point here. She says Zaven Collins is one of the guys she wants to see year 2 at the position. To her is a lot like having a rookie there. She knows he has the physical tools, but doesn't know if he has developed a technique. Yeah, so I agree with her. Like and he's already listed as a starter, so he's going to be at that outside position. But yeah, he's basically new to the position too. It's year 2 for him because last year was the first time that they threw him out there.
Right. Which I feel play edge.
Yeah, I mean, he had his ups and downs last year, like, if we being honest, but the fact that he's still in the team and he's not a calm casualty yet tells me that he's probably progressing pretty well for the staff. So I'm excited to see Zaven too. And we know that's Corey's guy.
I was gonna say, that's Corey's man at 6'5", 260. Hopefully there's something there.
Yeah. I think you hit a nail on the head with the Keim casualties. The people from Keim's regime that are still here, those are the people to watch all season long. Like, those are the dogs that bought into the culture and are there to play ball. So I'm watching all those guys that stuck around.
I agree, but those guys are always on thin ice, as we know how Monty is with Keim's former draft picks. Not many left. So
I'm trying to think how, like, Kyler, obviously, Buddha, JT. Who are the other main guys?
Well, JT was he was in the supplemental draft.
JT, that was a good pick. Yeah,
Zaven,
but no,
Zaven Trey McBride was arguably his best pick ever.
McBride, Dortch,
which I hated the Trey pick at the time because we had just signed to Ertz. But that was like, I'm so glad I was wrong about that.
Yeah,
6-time draft picks are left, if I recall.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of all of them right now, but it's a couple of them still there. And yeah, like you said, Kyle, like, they bought into the culture, and like, those are the guys that we want around.
Totally agree.
I personally feel like our defense this year is going to just be improved off the fact that our offense is going to be better. The longer we can keep, the defense off the field, the more that they can rest up and the more that they can perform at a high level when they're out there and they're not gassed, from us turning the ball over or just, playing with Josh Dobbs and not getting nothing going on offense.
Yeah.
Dude, realistically too, like, playing those games at the beginning of the season, like, even like the first 5 games, like last year, you kind of like, what are those guys really playing for in the back of their minds? Like, we're playing with Josh Dobbs. We're like the game.
It was really a tryout for this year. That's what it was. It was just a big tryout for this year.
No, you hit the nail on the head. I like, honestly, like, just being a diehard and just like an eternal Cardinals optimist, I could not allow myself to like just come to grips with like, all right, yeah, this season's a complete wash. It's a tryout for next year, but somehow miraculously we made it through. We made it through the entire offseason, and we're sitting at the precipice of 2024 season, and I'm so excited, man. I mean, I think it's funny too. Like, I've even been wanting to call out Monty just a little bit. I love the man, Monty. If you're watching this, all the belief in the world in you. But yeah, definitely at that edge position, like a little bit nervous, a little bit, oh yeah, kind of like frustrated, calling for some change there, which we haven't really necessarily seen. But maybe they're confident in those guys, like some of the sleeper names, like Roy Lopez. They're huge on. Like some of these new guys, Darius Robinson. No one plans on him missing 4 weeks. So I don't know. Maybe they know something that we don't know. And
Jay just traded away though. He just traded someone for like a 6 or 7.
Cam Thomas, we traded for a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
A former 3rd round pick, a lot of hype, 3 sacks in the preseason. Oh, let's go. Corey's in this chat.
Yeah, but I say, real quick, let me shout out Corey.
Yeah.
What's good, man? We miss you, bro. But we know you gotta be family man today. So take care of your business.
Yep. Miss you, Corey. Hopefully we'll see you for a podcast following the win this weekend. So
there you go.
Yes, sir.
So I guess real quick, let's talk to let's talk about he said husband duties. Let's talk about expectations for maybe the game and for the season. So yeah, I guess we can talk about expectations for the game first, and then maybe expectations for the season for guys like Kyler, the defense, Marv. I think Marv is a big one. Because I know for me, when it comes to Marv, I'm not super optimistic how like the fantasy community is when it comes to like what he might do this year. But yeah, let's get into the game first. So expectations for the games from y'all.
Yeah, I think first half we come out with 10 points. I think we have a nice solid touchdown drive early, and then we just kind of start stalling a little bit while they're kind of trying to feel each other out. It's going to be a work in progress. Like ideally they come out perfect, but we all know that it takes a while to reprise the team and get a nice culture fit, get all the play schemes dialed in correctly. So I'm not expecting anything too crazy. I'm going to say, around 10-7, maybe 10-14, Bills taking it at half. But I think we're always a second half team. Kyler being the competitive guy he is, I think he's just going to find a way to will this game to a victory. So I think we end up putting around 14, 17 points up in the second half, taking it, I don't know, probably 24-17 is my final prediction.
No. We gotta die.
They calling you out, Kyle. What you gonna say to this? They calling you Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia.
No, this man rides with the Redbirds.
Redbirds all the way.
Huge fan. I definitely disagree though a little bit. I think I said it like a while back in our last pod, but I really do have the same vibes as the Tennessee game. In Tennessee to open up the 2021 season. I'm a Kyler Murray merchant, so I pretty much listen to every word that comes out of the guy's mouth publicly. And he did say he's been watching a lot of his own tape from the 2021 season because he was playing so well at that time. And I do believe that we're going to come out and put up at least 17 points in the first half. I think we take the lead into halftime and we just continue to expand on it. I'm pretty comfortable in the Cardinals taking this one by a touchdown or more. I know it's a crazy take. Might be a little bit of a homer, overly optimistic. I've studied the Bills a lot, and I don't think I'll tell you this: their head coach stinks. Like they've had a Super Bowl caliber roster for the last 5 years, and they haven't done anything. Everyone wants to blame Josh Allen the interceptions, but I totally blame the head coach. I'll never forget the game they lost to New England a few years ago in New England. New England had a terrible team. Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times in the entire game. It was the windiest game of all time, and the Bills lost. The Bills lost, dude, as I believe it was a multiple, like a two score favorite, and they lost the game outright. Sean
Was it
McDermott.
like 6? Like they lost like 9-6 or something like that?
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
in a low scoring game. Yeah.
Super low scoring game. Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times the entire game, and they somehow still won. Yeah, McDermott stinks. Allen's a god, right? He's incredible. I have all the respect in the world. I think he's a great guy, great quarterback, super entertaining. I like him a lot, honestly. But I don't trust McDermott. And like I've said, like I've heard Khalil Shakir's the number one, Coleman's the one, Curtis Samuel's the one. In my opinion, I think the true one right now is Kincaid. And I think if we're able to like use the safeties to key in on Kincaid and kind of shut that down, like I'll trust a rookie, Keon Coleman, to like not go out there and torch us. Shakir is definitely talented, and Curtis Samuel, like KG vet. I think he's dealing with something right now, injury-wise. James Cook is solid, but like I'm not sold in their O-line, and their defense I think is extremely exploitable. So my 2 picks of the game are Cardinals. I'll say -3.5 and over. I think it's 48.5. I think it's definitely going over that. Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals probably take it like 31 to like 26, something like that.
We kind of thinking along the same lines. But real quick, I think these are the draft picks Dana was talking about, the 6 con picks that are left. So DeMcCagey and I guess DeMcCagey was the last one that we were forgetting. But yeah, Buddha, JT, which JT wasn't, like we talked about, he wasn't really in the regular draft. He was in the supplemental draft.
Yeah.
Kyler, Zaven, and McBride.
Was Dorsch not there? I could have sworn Dorsch was there.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, no, Dorsch was there, but he was an undrafted. Yeah, he was an undrafted guy.
Oh, for draft.
He's been on like 4 different teams. I think it was the Panthers, the Saints, the Rams. The Rams, I think, originally picked him up, dropped him, then the Saints and the Panthers, then us. Maybe the Jets too. Yeah, and we found a diamond. He's special.
He's found a home. Yeah, he's found a home. For sure. But
actually, I don't know if I ever told you. No, I was gonna say, I don't know if I ever told you, but when I went to that Panthers game, I actually met Dortch, and bro, he's like a good amount smaller than me, and I'm not a tall guy. I'm like 5'10", and he was like probably like right here, but wicked cool guy. He was wearing a Boobie Miles Permian Panthers jersey, which is pretty sweet, like post game, like the black jersey. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie, but yeah, pretty sweet. Super cool guy, and another guy that just loves ball, man.
Word. I guess before I jump into mine, Corey says, offensively for us, if their D-line doesn't affect the game too much, don't see how their revamped secondary slows us down. I totally agree. I agree with that. And then I agree with you, Jake, when I feel like the game is going over. Hot take, I feel like this is going to be the highest scoring game this week.
Yeah.
I just don't think that there's any way that they stop us. And honestly, I don't really, it's going to be tough for us to stop them. But Josh Allen, he just knows how to choke a game, especially week 1. Like we saw last year, they lost to was it the Jets? Week 1, they lost to the Jets with Zach Wilson and
was that?
And Garrett Wilson. Yeah, when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they lost.
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah. So Josh Allen just finds a way to choke games. And I feel like this is going to be a really high scoring game, and that we'll find a way to win it in the end with the turnover or something. So final score, I'm thinking somewhere between like 30, maybe like 34 to like 31 or like something like that. But I see both teams getting like 30 points because offensively, like Corey mentioned, I don't think that there's much that they can do to slow us down, especially if we're able to run the ball. And I mean, I know Josh Allen's he's gonna dice us up a good bit, but he's gonna turn the ball over.
Who do you see burning us on from the Bills offense? Genuinely curious.
Honestly, I just see it being a collection of just Josh Allen being Josh Allen. Honestly,
I don't see a lie.
I could also see James Cook being like kind of killing us in the passing game a little bit.
That's fair. Screen
but
game.
Corey said it's funny. It's funny not having a pass rush helps us in this game because you allow Allen time to throw for turnovers. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. He's gonna make a mistake.
I agree.
Like that's what he does. He's a gunslinger. He's gonna make a mistake.
Yeah,
Um,
Corey. I do think though, if the two guys are it's gonna be two pass catchers. I think it's Kincaid and Shakir. I feel like Shakir is, in my opinion, definitely better than Samuel. But Samuel's a cagey vet, so I don't know. I guess they do with some guys, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. There's like no like bona fide number one there yet. Maybe Coleman, but like it's week one, so I don't know.
and I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty high on Keon just as a whole, just
Yeah,
like
for sure. What's
for
not
his
to be high?
career.
Yeah, great,
Yeah, but
great there for sure. But it's week one.
it's week one. Yeah. So I don't know. I just expect Josh Allen to be Josh Allen, and us take advantage of that and find a way to win the game.
What do you guys, Kyle, Shad, and Corey, if he's still there? What do you guys think Marv's going to do? Shad, if you had to give like catches, yards, and potential touchdowns.
Real quick, Corey. No, it's still Joe Brady. They do not have a new OC. It's still Joe Brady, which kind of scares me in thinking that they're going to be able to put up points against us. But as far as Marv and his like my expectations for him, I feel like he's going to be probably 80 to 100 catches, 11 to 1,200. Oh, you're talking about this week? I thought you meant for the season. No, this week. Honestly, I don't see him going too crazy because I feel like Marv is going to walk onto an NFL field, and the first day that he walks on the field, defensive coordinators and teams are going to be like, this is a guy that we do not want touching the ball.
Right.
I feel like he's going to get that respect because everybody knows who he is and what he's capable of. So I don't really see him going too crazy. Like I said, I feel like Trey McBride is probably going to have a better game than him. So I'd say maybe like 6 catches, maybe like 70 something yards, no touchdown.
That's
cool
I think
yeah.
Game that should lead us to a good place.
Yeah.
He's getting
I don't know why. I just think Kyler's fine for 2, and it's just going to be a major headline. Like Marv is here, he's arrived.
You said he's getting what?
2 touchdowns.
2? Oh, that'd be crazy.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like somewhere in between you two guys. I feel like when we saw Kyler with D-Hop and he just absolutely fed him. Obviously, we have more playmakers now, and you've seen the rapport with McBride and even Michael Wilson, and Connor's going to get his touches, and Dortch is going to get his touches. I still think and yes, I agree they're going to key on Marv, but dude, just go back and watch this guy's college highlight tape. He's going to find a way to get open. If he's truly anywhere near the level of a JJ, Jamar, one of these top guys, even like a Garrett Wilson type, which I feel like he's already should step on the field and be better than Garrett Wilson. He should be able to find a way to get open. We'll see if he's a red zone threat. I mean, obviously he's got the height, we'll see how much of a physical pass catcher he is. Obviously, what comes to mind in that context is that grab he made over Garrett Williams in the end zone and during camp, that one where he took a hard hit to his head, but made a contested catch. So I say he goes 7 catches, 82 yards, and I think he gets 1 score.
He gets a touchdown.
Yeah.
But real quick, I'm about to say real quick, what you talking about with the red zone? I don't know how teams are gonna be able to stop us in the red zone because we have Kyler in his legs. We got James Conner, who we know his track record when it comes to inside the red zone. Right. And then you throw in Greg Dortch, who we already mentioned on the podcast, and Kyler's talked about, people talked about, is a very tough cover in the slot. Right. And 2 trees and Trey McBride and Marv, I don't know. It's gonna be tough for teams to stop us in the red zone.
Seriously. Good luck.
Corey said Douglas can't. Rasul Douglas, that's what he's talking about, can't guard Marv one-on-one.
Crazy that we cut that man, but yeah, I mean,
I think people would go crazy on Twitter if Marv cooks Rasul Douglas for a touchdown.
Bro, Marv's gonna have at least wow play where Twitter explodes. That's what we got. Dude. It goes back to a year ago, dude. We were on this pod talking about if we were able to get a guy like a Malik or a Marv, what it would do for the fan base. Dude, the special playmaking ability is there. Now it's time to just we suffered through the shitty season. Prater had to hurt his all-time percentage by intentionally missing those 2 kicks. We got the guy. Now it's time to just reap the rewards. So I'm excited, man. I'm really, really, really excited to see what he's able to do.
Yeah. Expectations for the season for him. I know I had kind of jumped into that.
Yeah.
80 catches, 1,200 yards, and I'm gonna say like 6 touchdowns, which I feel like personally, I feel like that's like reasonable expectations for him. But I know a lot of people who would be disappointed if that's his stats at the end of the year. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
That'd be crazy. I think to be disappointed. That would be pretty. That'd be all right. I think more touchdowns though. I don't know why. I'm gonna say 8 or
Mhm.
9. I definitely think he's gonna have at least 2 multi-touchdown games, and I just can envision the headline where it's just like this guy is a freak, and I know the media's gonna love him. I think they're just gonna be huge for the Cardinals brand. I'm hoping a ton more fans jump on the bandwagon, and I don't know. I think if anyone's gonna take us to the promised land, this guy just becoming the superstar he's meant to be. I think it was Kenny Moore, the second, put him on skates in the Colts practice. That's a super respectable cornerback in the NFL, and he just, I mean, I know it was one play, but it was just a beautiful route, and he stared him down. Well, the whole sideline freaked out, even the Colts guy. That was just a flash of what's to come, only getting better throughout the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. Again, I think I fall like somewhere in between you guys. I think I'm going to say like 86 catches. I was kind of lowballing it at first, saying like 1,100 yards, but dude, if Puka was able to put up 14 and change last year, like I'm going to say 86 catches, 1,305 yards, and I'll say 7 TDs, maybe 8.
7.
Maybe I'll go 8 TDs. I just think like Kyle said, like I think there's definitely going to be some games where he's kind of like held in check, but it's hard to like imagine him going like under 50 yards in a game. And I mean, it's a 17 game season. I feel like 8 touchdowns, is less than half a touchdown a game. Like, I feel like he'll definitely be able to do that. I know.
Look, I'm assuming he's talking about the Neighbors versus Marv. Is that what he's talking about?
I think Kyle was saying he wants to see some fans jump on the Cardinals bandwagon.
Okay.
I definitely agree, Corey. I don't know where this national media attention is coming from. Like the switch up needs to be studied, especially if we end up being a good team and like making the playoffs. It's going to be funny to hear like how many people end up saying like, oh yeah, like definitely knew this was a possibility, yada yada yada. But I got a lot of friends saying that they're betting me that the Cardinals aren't winning more than 6 games. So it's definitely Pruitt season.
That's actually kind of crazy.
Crazy. Man.
Real random question: over under touchdowns for Kyler total. Where would y'all set that at?
Oh, passing and rushing.
I was gonna say
yeah, passing and rushing.
All right, I'll break mine out separately, but I can take that. I'm gonna say he throws for 32 and he rushes for 6.
Yeah, I'd say
so he is right below 40.
34 and 8, brother.
Wow, this guy's got him at 42.
Look, if he gets 40 touchdowns, he has to be in the MVP conversation.
I think this is his first year he's thrown for over 4,000 yards. He's got to do it this year.
Okay.
Because if you watch, like, I mean, yeah, he hasn't been healthy for like a season at this point, but if he plays all 17 games, like I said, I feel like he has these games like here and there. Like even against the Steelers last year, he throws for like 200 yards. I feel like those days are a thing of the past. Like with McBride, with Harrison, even throwing a Connor out of the backfield, Dortch, Wilson, Zay. Like we have so many guys that it's like, dude, I really think he's going to average like 275 a game this year with some big like 330, 325, 340 games mixed. So I think he's going over 4,000. In my opinion, that's like one of the most important metrics. I wouldn't even mind if like his rushing came down like 100 yards and he just started like going back to that 2021, like just airing it out and having some big games. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Word. Corey said I guess he was talking about Twitter in general. Yeah, I saw that Kyle Brandt has us in the playoffs. He's like, where have you been? I don't know, man. Like when it comes to the national media, like like Kyle Brandt and like the whole Good Morning like football crew, like I feel like they actually have a wider eye when it comes to like all the teams and stuff like that. But at the same time, because it's national media, everybody has to be kind of they have to think about what they put out there and what they say. And a lot of people don't like Cardinals coverage. It is what it is. So like I can understand why maybe he hasn't said as much up until now. But yeah, I don't know where he's been at.
Dude,
As far as
Corey's last comment, I think I've honestly
oh
been
yeah.
I've been telling a lot of people about this. Like, I think we are going to come out and we're going to be a special offense this year. And Petzing's definitely going to get looks. We just got to hope that there's not a lot of head coaching vacancies because there's a real possibility that he gets swooped either this, if not this year, probably next year. So
Yeah, it's definitely been talk about him being a coaching candidate for the next year's cycle. And yeah, if Kyler comes out and throws for 4,000 yards and has 42 touchdowns, like you talking about, Cal, like Petzing's definitely gonna be getting some coaching interviews, like, and he might be gone. Yeah, he might be gone. And then we might be looking at the next Mike McDaniel. Because I feel like Petzing gives Mike McDaniel vibes.
yeah, did you see Mike McDaniel's new look? By the way,
Yeah,
got,
he's fully adapted to Miami.
yeah. So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was cracking.
Okay, cool. So we just hit the 50-minute mark. Is there anything else y'all want to maybe talk about? Anything y'all want to highlight for week 1 or for the season?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, I don't know about week 1, but I was gonna just run us through just one more time. Like, we can just go through the schedule and just try to kind of just like give wins and losses and just see kind of like where the three of us fall like as of today. And Corey, if he wants to chime in as well.
Let me see if I can I might be able to pull up the schedule. Let me see.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, possible. That'd be sweet.
Let me see. Present. I think that's how I do it. Yeah. Here we
Dude,
go.
pretty wild.
Let me know if y'all can see.
Yeah, it's a little small.
You
can like.
Okay, well, I think I can zoom in. I think I can zoom in, maybe. Or not. Let's see how to do this.
Oh yeah,
does that work?
Yeah, for
All
sure.
Right, cool. Nice. All right, so week 1 against Buffalo, obviously I think I haven't talked to a Cardinals fan that doesn't think that we're going to win this game. Like, I haven't talked to anybody that feels pessimistic about this game at all.
I feel really good about
this.
I really do.
I do too. It just seems like a game that we're going to win. And it also just seems like a game that Buffalo is going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So we all got week 1 against Buffalo as a dub.
Yeah. I'm saying L week 2, unfortunately.
I'm gonna say W week 2 as well.
Okay, so you're gonna say, so Cal, what you got week 1? You got a dub, and then week 2 against the Rams.
L.
Okay.
I really like that team this year.
So I got 2-0.
I think once we find our identity, once we meet them later on in the season, then we get at 1-1. But I think early on, as a Super Bowl team, not too many years ago, they got a lot of great weapons.
Yeah, honestly, I guess I'll agree with that. I guess I'll go 1-1 as well.
So I guess the last time that we did this, I think I had this as an L. But the more and more I start to think about this season, like, I mean, again, the parallels with the 2021 season, we played LA early that year, and we were able to win that game. Like, that was like one of the few times that we beat LA in the last, I don't know, like 5-6 years. I think it was week 3 that season. So we get them at home. No Aaron Donald, thank God he's gone. Stay out the NFL for good. Like, don't ever come back. So I feel like I actually feel like we can get this. I think we can get this win. So I'm gonna say 2-0. Ooh, Did I lose y'all? I think I might have lost them. Let's see. Dana says, she says, I think our defense ends up middle of the league or better. We were 15th in passing last year with bad pass rush and a revamped run defense. I think even if the pass rush remains mediocre, we're mid at worst. Dana, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with middle of the league, or I wouldn't necessarily say middle of the league. I feel like we'd probably be somewhere right at middle of the league. Let me see if I can get Jake back up here. I think he's here.
Sorry about that. We just had a laptop die.
No, you're good. I was just talking about Dana's comment. She was saying that she thinks our defense ends up middle of the league or better. I feel like I was saying earlier, I feel like our defense is just going to be improved off the fact that our offense is going to be improved.
Yeah.
Just keeping them off the field, keeping the defense off the field, having them rest more, allowing them to be, more juiced up, rested, like not having as many possessions and plays a game. I feel like that's just gonna make them better off the rip.
Yeah.
Throwing some stability on the defensive line. And like she said, even if the pass rush remains mediocre, as long as our guys are healthy and they're stacking up games, I feel like we'll be all right.
Yeah, middle. If our defense is middle of the league or better, like we got a chance to like make the divisional round because this offense is going to be top 5. So I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. Like middle of the pack or better, but like if we could be like 20th, I think we could potentially sneak out a wild card win.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to continue through?
Yeah, I don't know if y'all caught what I was saying about LA, but basically I think we're gonna win.
All right. I'm actually gonna flip flop back. I'm gonna go 2-0. I don't know why I let this guy get in my head, but
I'm feeling
I like
one.
I like what you said, Shaw, and sticking to that theme of the 2021 season. I'm gonna stick with my original 2-0 there.
All right, Detroit. What do we got?
Detroit. I got a loss. Personally.
I have a loss as well. I got us at 1 and 2.
I think I'm gonna go with a loss too. Just historically or as of late, like we haven't really played well against Detroit.
Yeah.
And it's Jared Goff. And eventually one of these years we need to beat Jared Goff, but I don't know. It's gonna be a tough game at home. Detroit is what, NFC Championship team? Didn't they make the NFC Championship last year?
They could have won had they just not gone for it on 4th down twice or
So that's gonna be a tough game. Amon-Ra might cook us. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, that's gonna.
So I got 2-1.
And the running backs. Yeah,
I got 2-1.
Oh, I got 1 and 2. Washington, I think that's. I don't want to say easy dub, but they're still finding their identity. They got a good future, but I think they're an earlier version of us even. So I got us 2 and 2.
I was arguing with people at work today about that. Actually, I said there's no world that exists in which we lose that game to Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona. So I got 3-1.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Jake. Like I think that, well, I respect Cliff and I respect his offense and everything, but I just don't think we get outcoached by Washington. Like Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, 2 guys I'm very familiar with living in Atlanta when it comes to Dan Quinn. I don't think we get outcoached by them, so I'd say we're 3-1. All right. Real quick. Hold on, we got some comments. So Dana said Rams took 3 rookie defensive linemen to maybe replace what Aaron Donald did to them. They also still have Kobe Turner. Week 2 will depend in part on how quickly they gel. I could see that. I could see that. I just know that from watching Cardinals games the past like 4 or 5 years, Aaron Donald is quite literally Kyler Murray's kryptonite.
100%.
Like the pressure that man applies applying like up the middle and affecting Kyler, like there was literally nothing we could do in any of those.
Yeah, but even Kyler knows that. Like he made a whole deal when Donald retired, like congratulating him, telling him like not to come back, like
don't come back. Yeah,
he totally owned it, and I honestly love that. And it's so true. Like he was just saying, like like this guy is arguably like maybe the greatest defensive player of all time. So like you can say what you want about like them drafting rookies and blah blah blah, but like no one is going to affect the game like Aaron Donald did. That's a huge loss for them and a huge win for us playing them twice.
And that playoff game definitely haunts Kyler, and Aaron Donald was the main figure. So
and how many times has Aaron Donald sacked Kyler in which he never actually had to go through the process of physically sacking him. Like,
oh yeah, he just Kyler just falls
touching him,
down.
he's already on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Too many times, bro.
Definitely.
Too many times.
Okay, so Corey
He's-
said call him crazy, but he thinks our secondary, barring health, finishes as a top 10ish unit. He also says the pass rush may be bad, but he thinks Pat, Tony, Nick Rallis, and JG will have that back end strapped.
Top 10 defense? Who's saying that?
No, top 10 secondary.
Okay, who was saying that?
Corey was saying that.
Dude, honestly, I respect Corey's his ball knowing. So
Corey knows ball.
I was gonna say if he's saying that, like, that gives me some hope. I like the cornerbacks from a lot. I was just defending them to my cousin the other day, but top 10 would be special, man. I'm gonna put my faith in Corey on that one and hope for the best. So yeah.
They move up automatically 5 spots because Marco Wilson isn't playing 10 games this year. So
Dude, if I have to do that guy's name one more time, I have Pats fans talking him up so much, dude. I'm like,
oh, man.
He gave up when targeted last year. Quarterbacks had a 137 rating, like, which is just like
insane.
It's like, how is this guy in the NFL? I don't know. He's gone, so we're good. But Niners.
Yeah, Niners. Yep.
I got 3-2 at that point.
Say 2-3. Another L.
Fair.
Yeah, so I think we lose to the Niners too on the road. We might as well just go to the next game. 3-2 right there for me.
Yeah, I got 3-2. That's a tough one.
Honestly, I got 2-4. I like the Packers a lot this year.
Yeah, I'd probably take 3-3 after the Packers.
Jay Love, Josh Jacobs, just a good squad.
The Packers is an interesting game for me because I would like to know who's on their schedule, like, and what we're playing around.
Right.
Because the Packers could have just had like a tough road stretch or something like that and could be getting back home. Like how we're starting off the season with like 4 out of 5 like really tough games. I don't know. That could be a sneaky game where we could get the dub.
I just think mid-October it's gonna start getting cold there too. We do not usually play well in the cold.
I think it could be some decent weather out there at that point.
Hopefully.
I'm still gonna say it's all an L for us.
I'm gonna
say 3-3.
I think it's a good game. We go to 500. Chargers the Monday night at 9 p.m. on ESPN Plus. I got to win there.
Yeah.
I'm not a Herbert believer. I think Harbaugh is a little bit overrated. I'm not scared of. I mean, they lost Keenan. They got Ladd, but like, he's talented, but like, I'm not like super scared of him. And then like outside of him, like, what are you looking at? Like Josh Palmer, like,
yeah.
So they lost Eckler. I don't know, man. That team doesn't scare me at all.
Especially Monday night. I think this is the Cardinals statement week where they're telling the national audience we're here to play.
That's
you guys
honestly,
better watch the fuck out.
That's honestly a great call.
They turn it on from here.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but we didn't have a primetime game last year. And I think the last time we did before the playoff game where we got smoked was against the Packers at a similar time in the season in that 2021 year when we went from 7-0 to 7-1 because AJ Green didn't turn around. So that's a big like statement game.
Yeah, I think we're 3-4 at that point.
I got 4-3.
Miami, I think
Corey, real quick. Corey says we're beating Green Bay, and Dana is also not high on Green Bay.
That's great. I mean, I respect it.
I can see I can see us winning that game. Like I don't think Green Bay is a team that we can't beat. Like their offense is really good, but yeah, their defense to me is kind of like a bend but don't break type defense. I kind of feel like Dana is saying, like, you know, the wide receiver corps to her is uninspiring. I think their wide receiver group is pretty good, but their secondary to me is suspect outside of Jair for sure.
Jane Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. It's a pretty solid team.
Dontavian Wicks. It's a bunch of just like solid guys. There's no
Josh Jacobs, dude. I think he's gonna be a monster there.
Yeah, Jacobs could be resurrected. I don't know. We'll see. I think a good team, but I think they're beatable. But I bet it's a loss.
As far as the Chargers game for me, I feel bad for Justin Herbert. Like Greg Roman as your offensive coordinator, Like I'm sorry. I'm sorry for him. So I don't think that we lose that game, especially it's at home. It's a primetime game, which I mean, maybe it means something, but there's 2 primetime games that day. Like,
Yeah.
so hopefully people tune into ours. But
Yeah,
I got
Ravens.
us being 4. Yeah, yeah. The Ravens play Monday night too that week, but I got us 4-3, also beating LA.
All right, Miami. I think we take that momentum. Honestly, like they're definitely pretty well covered team. I mean, very popular. Obvious reasons why. Tyreek Hill, very flashy offense. But by this point, guarantee at least one of those running backs is banged up. Tyreek's probably had some off the field issue. I don't even know. Honestly, I think we're taking the momentum. We got 4-4 at Miami.
Okay, so you say we take a win. Real quick, we're talking about the Packers receivers. She says she's asking who's the starting wide receiver one from that group if she doesn't see a 1,000-yard receiver in Green Bay. When it comes to Green Bay and their receivers, I just think that they're all just really solid. And I feel like whoever Jordan Love wants to target that day is gonna be the guy that can cook you.
Yeah.
It might not be a 1,000-yard receiver on that team, but they have so many guys, and Jordan Love is really good at spreading the ball around that
Yeah.
I don't think that they need
Yeah.
a wide receiver one, a star wide receiver one.
No.
I mean, yeah, Watson could be that guy.
I think it is
but
Watson, and Jane Reed's very respectable too there, and he's got all
Mhm.
the end arounds. He's gonna be a special player.
Yeah, I think they're solid, but I don't think they have that true number one.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But Miami.
as far as Miami, for me, I got us going to 4-4 there, back to 500. I think it's gonna be tough to stop that three-headed monster in the backfield and Tyreek, Waddle. If we could get to Tua, like anything can happen, obviously. But I'm gonna play like the slow, calculated approach here, not try to get too ahead of myself. So I'll say 4-4 at that point.
I got you. Man, I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, and it's like if I give us a win here, I feel like I'm giving us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight wins.
Yeah.
Is that gonna happen this year?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but
I
it's
don't
good to
know,
start
but
surprising.
like, yeah, I mean, Miami is also a winnable game, but and I don't know if y'all been seeing. There's been some discourse about Tua versus Kyler on Twitter going
I've
on
been seeing
lately.
that.
Um, about the last time we played Miami, where it was a really close game. But no, I think we lose to Miami. I'm gonna say we lose to Miami. So I also have us 4-4 here.
I'm on your train though. I think we win at least Chicago, Jets, Seahawks, Vikings. We roll. I think the Chicago game is going to be one of the most fun of the year too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have well, it's funny if you look at the tickets on the right side, tickets as low as that Chicago game is by far
It's
the
the
high.
highest.
Yeah.
It is. That's crazy.
So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I work with a diehard Bears fan too, so he's the one that doesn't think the Cardinals are winning 6 games. He thinks the Bears are, like already in like through the
Playoff,
wild
like
card round.
divisionals.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I've had that one circled on my calendar for a while now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I got us beating Chicago too at home. I think that's a win.
yeah,
The Jets though, I we talked about this in the last pod. This is the one game that I feel the most confident. Like if I had to bet everything, like my entire savings on Kyler Murray props, like yards, touchdowns, everything, I feel like against Aaron Rodgers at home, there's no way Kyler doesn't ball out. Like no way. Especially after how we lost against the Packers again in 2021. And Aaron Rodgers is Kyler Murray's favorite quarterback. Like he's gonna go out there, he's gonna prepare, he's gonna do everything that he has to do to make sure he goes out there and ball out. And so I don't think there's any way we lose to the Jets at home. So I got us winning that.
I honestly, that one is one that's hard for me to kind of pick. I think Aaron Rodgers at that point, week 10, could be showing his age a little bit in Arizona. Rodgers got the best of us last time we faced off, so I'm gonna echo your sentiment there, and I will say 5-4 as well.
You?
Yeah.
Really?
It's very
You mean
dependent.
6-4? 6-4.
Yeah, it would be 6-4. Yeah.
All right, 6-4. My bad.
If Rodgers is firing, it's going to be a close game. But the articles I've been reading, the team's not meshing well under him. He doubted if he was even going to come back for a year. I think they fall apart by then. I got us winning. We're into the bye.
So you have us at what, 5-5?
6-4.
Wow.
6-4. Okay, also 6-4.
I disagreed on Miami. I think we got them.
We're
Okay, all right.
I might be going to that game too, so I'm biased.
Miami.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so then we got, after the bye week, we got at Seattle and we got at Minnesota. So I guess, I know, Jake, you feel pretty confident that we could sweep Seattle this year?
Yeah, we're sleeping. We're sleeping Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, I'll stick. Yeah.
Gino is not that guy.
No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna say we lose that first one. I was confident in that, but I'm just trying to play realistic. I just don't want to get let down again this year. So I'll say they take that one, gets me to 6-5. I think we split with them. I think we split with the division actually. So 3-3. So I'll give a loss there. And that it's always a good matchup with Seattle. I think it'll be a close one. I'll give them the nod on that one to 6-5.
Okay. I think after the bye week, I think we get that game personally. After the bye week, like if they're coached up, ready to go, I feel like we should get that game. So I'm gonna say, what are we at? I'm gonna say 7-4.
I'm right on board. 7-4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Minnesota's the easy one. I mean, they don't even have a QB now. You got Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
I got 7-5. I think Minnesota's
8-4.
I think JJ's gonna struggle a little bit this year. I see him like right around 1,200 yards, like 6 touchdowns.
Well, JJ's out. Yeah, JJ's out for the season. Are you talking about Jefferson?
Oh,
Yeah.
my fault.
Oh,
my
Jefferson.
yeah.
Oh, that was
They got 2 JJs now.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what?
My fault.
I got you.
I'm talking Jettis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I got
So
8.
I actually feel like this is a sneaky game that we can end up losing.
No, how? You're scared of Aaron
I
Jones?
mean, like,
What?
I mean, I don't want to. There's not really I don't really have a rhyme or reason to it. I just know that there's going to be a game every year. Like, there's always a game every year that like we don't win that we're supposed to win. And I could see us going to Minnesota. I mean, they're a well-coached team with Kevin O'Connell. And I don't know. I could just see them finding a way to beat us. I know a lot of people feel that way about Carolina, but when we get to, we're not going to lose to Carolina.
We're not losing to Bryce Young.
We're not losing to Carolina. No, yeah.
Yeah, I just think Kyler's way too impatient now. He's done too little in his career for how good he is, and I just think this season he's coming to play. I don't know that there's going to be many of those trap games.
Many of those games, yeah.
I low-key agree with that, honestly. I think that's actually a good call out. Like, I think Kyler is going to be the most locked in he's ever been, and I feel like, yeah, those like layups, he's gonna like dunk. You know what I mean?
He's taking no prisoners this year.
All right, so I got us at 7-5.
Same.
I think I'm 8-4. That's crazy.
Yeah, you are.
I was trying to play the pessimist.
Seattle. Seattle.
Seattle.
I said lost the first one. I got the split. Defend the nest at home. I'm gonna say 8-5 gives us the split with them.
I got 9-4.
Wow, the sweep.
Woo, 9-4. 9-4 going into the last 4 games of the season. Oh, we playing for a divisional round.
Yeah. Wait a second.
Like, we might be playing for a bye.
Yeah.
But no, I think we split with Seattle, so I think we lose this game at home. Okay. And we normally go to Seattle and win, and always end up losing at home. So I feel like that's on par with how things have been as of late. So we dropped 2. I have us dropping 2 there. So 7-6.
Oh shit.
7-6. Yeah.
New England easy dubs.
New England is like my most confident game I think this year. I think we just absolutely thump them. They have no one. They're going to be playing the tank game.
Yo, what is Gerard Mayo like? What is he doing not starting Drake May?
Dude, the whole thing
Yeah,
is like they like do have like the worst line in the league. So I think there's like
yeah.
they don't want to repeat of Mac Jones. Like I guess in his second year, like they don't want May to come in and just get throttled and let his confidence down. I think like the rumors around these neck or this neck of the woods is that May is going to begin starting games around week 5. So we'll see. They're going to give him like a month rather, to kind of play scout team and move him up. But we'll see, man. I think they really are honestly trying to tank. They announced that like Tyquan Thornton was their ex receiver, which is like, I don't know if you're familiar with him out of Baylor. He
He's
was like,
starting
dude, he's the ex apparently. Like,
over Polk. That's
dude,
crazy.
if that doesn't scream tank, like I don't know what does. Like,
That's crazy. Look,
so
Corey said it. You know what I'm saying? The cat's out the bag. So New England Game Pod and Real Life Link Up. Hey, y'all stay tuned.
yep.
That weekend, December 15th, we all gonna try to link up in Arizona, catch a game. I know for me, it'll be my first game in the desert. I'm not sure about Corey if it'll be his first game in the desert, but definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to meeting up with y'all guys and chopping it up out there in Arizona.
Your first game, dude, it is a special feeling.
It's special, man.
You feel at home
You
for the
look-
first time. The Red Sea is a real thing. I doubted it. You look around, you're like, wow, these are my people, man. This is
It is crazy, bro. It's a special place. Corey, I don't know if you're still on here, but as of today, I got the news. Going to be moving to Arizona in about 6 weeks, so we'll definitely have to have you boys over to the place, and could definitely shoot the IRL pod, possibly by the pool or out at a bar or something. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that, and definitely want to have you boys out to the spot. So we'll have to get planning on that soon.
Let's go. So I think we all have us winning, beating New England. And I've never been to a Cardinals game in Arizona, but I've been to multiple Cardinals games in Carolina, and there's no way we're losing to Carolina with Bryce Young and who's their head coach now? Dave Canales, who, I mean, he's a decent head coach, but like,
Yeah, he
I
looks
think he's gonna be a decent. Yeah, I think he's gonna be decent.
You can only do
Yeah.
so much year one, as we saw with JG, though. So
Nice, Corey. Appreciate it, brother. Looking forward to it.
11-4. I don't even know how I got that number. That's crazy. But
that is wild, bro. I'm
think-
sitting at 9-6 right now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm at
9
9
and
and 6
6.
too.
Mhm.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm at 9 and 6.
I think we lose to the Rams again. I've got
a loss to the Rams to go to 9 and 7. Like I said, I think we split with them. I had them winning earlier in the year, so I'll go to 9 and 7. I just think it's going to be another tough battle. It's not going to be like the usual late season collapse for the Cards. I think it's going to be a good game that's kind of decided by a field goal either way, and maybe we get screwed by a play or something, but or get screwed by a call. But I think we dropped to 9 and 7 there. And yeah. What about you, Sean?
So I'll say this: if we are looking like a playoff team and things are going the way that like we're projecting them to go, I feel like to have faith in JG and just like this coaching staff and that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, we have to win one of these games. Either it's the Rams game or it's the Niners game. We just have to win one. Because if we're one game away from a 10-win season and we have 2 divisional opponents on our schedule left, we got to win one of those for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna be the Rams because I have us beating the Rams early in the season, but we'll beat San Fran at home. And I think you brought up a point of if San Fran is already locked up a bye,
Right.
they're probably not going to be playing starters.
That's my projection. I'm sticking to it. I think San Fran's probably going to end up with the 1 seed at that point, and I think it's going to be a prime opportunity for the Cardinals to get to 10 wins. With like playing their like third stringers, I think could be like an absolute layup for us. Which would be just a bow, on the season. So yeah, I guess I'm at 10 and 7 there after San Fran.
Same. I'm at 10 and 7. And Dana says that she's somewhere around 9 wins. But if everything goes right, she could see 11. So kind of like you, Kyle, you're the
Yeah, I got 11
resident you're the optimist today.
Yeah, I think the Niners struggle a little, and we're fighting for something
Uh-huh.
of value, whether it's a better seed or something. But the winner of the Niners Cardinals game will matter. That's my bold prediction, and I think the Niners
Mhm.
come out with it. But we might surprise in playoffs. But we are making playoffs as long as everyone stays healthy. Obviously, that's always the caveat. But everything I say
Mhm.
here is based on the main guys, staying healthy. Right.
Cool. So
I agree.
so you had what, 11 and what would
I
you have,
got
11 and
11 and
6,
6 at least. Yeah.
and we had 10 and 7.
Yeah.
So
10 and 7.
game away.
Which I'm comfortable.
Um
Like if you ask me like gun to your head, I say like 9 and 8. So like 10 and 7. That's going through
yeah.
the schedule. Like I think our line is like in my head like 9.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All right. Well, then I guess season starts this Sunday.
yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
Season starts this Sunday, and we're all optimistic. We're ready for the season to go. We all feel like Cardinals are going to come out on top week 1 against the Bills. So yeah, I guess we'll hopefully we'll have Corey back on the next podcast, so we could do a recap of the game. And I don't know about you, but unless we get blown out, the vibes are still going to be positive. Even if we lose, for me, the vibes are still going to be positive, unless we
100%.
just go out there and absolutely get thumped, which I
Yeah.
don't think any of us see that happening.
No chance, man. There's no chance. I'm willing this team to great things in week 1, man. I've been thinking about this for way too long. Like I'm telling you, man, 2021, I guarantee you, I'm gonna be sitting on my couch watching this game, texting you guys, blowing up the group chat. I know this team is going to come out and surprise. I know it.
100%.
Yeah.
Hammer the money line.
Yeah,
Plus 220.
hammer the money line.
Hey, Greg said he's taking us. Greg said he's taking us to win it, to win outright. So
Yes,
there you
sir.
go.
Great value. I think it's plus 240. So
Yeah.
take that.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. Probably sometime, maybe around Wednesday or something. To have the post game podcast. But appreciate y'all tuning in. Go Cards, and let's go week 1. Let's go get a dub.
Yes, sir. Winners work. We'll see you all on Wednesday.
Rise up.
All right. Okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
See y'all.
All right. Catch you, Sean. Always a pleasure.